Outdated squat tip number 4 is keeping the chest up. The theory here is that in order to avoid a low back injury, you need to keep the chest up and maintain the arch in the low back. But in actuality, there's a lot of things wrong here. Forcing ourselves into one range of motion all the time is likely going to inhibit our ability to access the other spectrum of that range of motion. And if we have more range of motion limitations, this can actually increase our risk for injury. For some people, this arch in the low back may be fine, but for other people, giving a generalized cue as far as chest up is so stupid. So instead of forcing yourself into a position, I recommend doing this instead. Step number 1 is testing your range of motion between an anterior and posterior pelvic tilt in standing. Step number 2 is think about your pelvis as a bowl of water. Spilling the water out the front represents an anterior pelvic tilt. Spilling the water out the back represents a posterior pelvic tilt. Step number 3 is find the point where the bowl is flat, where the water is not spilling out the front or back side, it's neutral. This on paper is going to be the most ideal position because we're not forced to one side of the spectrum,